Hey guys, welcome back to Theater Advice. I wanted to do a video about outdoor audio, landscape audio, pool audio, that kind of thing. People love to entertain in their backyards. It's a huge hot button, obviously. It's a huge category of stuff that we sell in the showroom. So I'm gonna go through the 3 or 4 like major kinds of ways to get audio throughout your yard and your pool. The first way, obviously, which is most common, is patio audio. So that's either going to be you're wired up here on the wall and you have like those hanging down type speakers. We're probably going to do a pop-up or something like, we'll do that. And then that way you can see that kind of thing. You know, they're just your typical angled kind of speakers, you know, that aim down. They've got back boxes. They sound good, good bass response. Focal makes some great ones, the OD6 and OD8, great speakers. Kef makes some good ones. Some high-end companies like Theory actually has outdoor speakers now, which are basically the IW and SB25s. They make those into an outdoor speaker now. I can only imagine how badass they are because everything they do is. But so what I have out here are triad color-matched ceiling mounted speakers. You can see ceiling in this house is peppercorn, I think, or iron ore. So I ordered them in actual iron ore or peppercorn. Another thing that you should just know about triad. I actually think I brought up some of that stuff, why we sell triad for our rear speakers and in-walls in a lot of other videos, because it's very, very important. Customers paint their room dark, they don't want white speakers. Sometimes people don't pay for it. And then I get the comments like, why are the speakers white? Keyboard warriors, you're my favorite. They're white because the customer didn't pay for grills, okay? So I did, there they are. So that's another way of doing patio audio. This in Texas is the most popular by far from any new home. When we pre-wire now, we're pre-wiring in the ceiling typically and not for the on-walls. The on-walls benefit though is, of course, it sends audio out, right? So if I didn't want to have audio throughout around my pool, it's going to have a better chance of reaching that audio out to the pool than just kind of aiming down. These speakers are tied for music, Tidal, Pandora, or the TV. If I turn up the TV through Control 4 right now, it actually turns up the TV and the volume of the speakers. Everything is up in a rack upstairs here, so that helps. But so that's kind of our first way, is kind of like patio audio, whether it's in ceiling, on wall, that kind of thing. The second way is kind of your inexpensive landscape. So landscape design goes like this. You know, as we kind of traverse through the pool, the least expensive way of doing outdoor audio, I'm going to walk backwards real carefully because if I fall in the pool, actually I should do that. That's 1 million views right there. You fall in the freezing cold pool, dude, someone's going to watch that. The way that we design patios, so like I'll look at someone's pool. So they'll send me plans and say, hey, David, this is my pool that I'm designing. Can you design it for me? And I'll get their actual architectural plans. And depending on their budget, one of these 3 things happen. It's either going to be a rock speaker system that's what I call that. It's a rock speaker. We'll do another pop-up like that. Or the new Focal ones like that. Those are cool. So the rock speakers literally look like rocks. They come in a lot of different colors, textures, all that kind of stuff. There's 2 types of rocks and you need to know which one to buy. There are regular speakers, which is 2 stereo rocks, a left and a right. And then there's other speakers called a dual voice coil DVC rock speaker. It has 2 tweeters in it, so it's got your left and right audio built into one enclosure. The reason you need to know that is, you know, if you have a left and a right, if you just buy one of the left and a right, you hear half the music, so that's obvious unless you turn it into mono. The dual voice coil allows you to just put one somewhere, which sometimes you just have space for one, so buy the stereo speaker. If you've got space for the left and right and you think you're going to hear them back there, or if you're just trying to listen to them at lower volumes, you could stick them left and right. So those are rock speakers. They could be powered from a Sonos amplifier, a small house amplifier, that kind of thing. Fairly inexpensive, $400-ish for rock speakers, maybe $700 or so for higher end ones, like everything else in the world. But inexpensive landscape audio, okay? Your second version of landscape audio is what I call landscape audio. The reason I call it that is they're meant to look like lights. So they're meant to look like landscape lights, which we also do, and I'll do a whole other video about that, believe it or not. But they're meant to look like lights. So they just kind of like stick on stakes. You can put them on a fence post, wherever you want. You can get them high, low. Generally, they're meant to stake in the ground, look like landscape lights, blend in with your landscaping, dug-in subwoofer. Those are going to be like $2,500 to $3,000 on the cheapish side for something good. Everybody makes a cheap version, like Sonance, Triad. Martin Logan, and then they make very high-end versions, like Sonance has their actual landscape stuff that's really spectacular. Really, really very good, top of the line. We love their stuff. James Audio, probably, you know, one of the best out there. Those systems are going to literally get you into the $8,000 realm. They can get to the $10,000 realm for people that are really starting to take their pool audio seriously. And look, they would be, you know, we design them where if you want to hear them at the bench, I'll put some there. You know, we'll put one here, aiming there. I mean, we design them to not be blocked by walls. You know, you're going to put them around the whole patio. What those systems are about is not necessarily about volume, even though, yes, they do that. What they're about is yard coverage. So when people have a fairly large yard, which we're not going to walk back there right now, I got gardens back here that don't look good and stuff like that, but back here we've got a huge walk and then a side yard with a putting green and everything. So for me, the system I used to have one mounted over next to my putting green, and then I had 4 around my pool. As I needed better audio, because I'm a crazy person, I went into the realm of the next category, which is Coastal Source. Coastal Source, I believe, to be the best distributed you know, audio throughout a yard available today. You're going to easily encroach on the $12,000 to $15,000 to $20,000, depending on how big of the scale, how many subs you want, size of the yard, all that kind of stuff. What I have here is closer to the 15,000 realm. You're going to have mounted box. You're going to have an amplifier either outside your house in a weatherproof box. You've got to have a huge junction box. You have to use their wire. I mean, it's all very, very involved, very, very expensive. But what you end up getting is, you know, as I go inside, I come outside and I was listening to my old system, which was $5,000-6,000, and I would just kind of be like, it sounds good. Like, all my neighbors loved it, but it had lows, it had highs, but it just wasn't very detailed. It's, you know, it's outside too. Just everything kind of gets lost. Coastal Source comes over in my showroom one day, sets up their whole, you know, Sprinter van bus thing where they got it all out there, and I stood across the parking lot, and they were just trying to get me to carry the line, and they turned it on. And I literally, within 2 seconds, was like, I'm selling that stuff at home and I'm buying this immediately. And I did. So that stuff got sold to a neighbor, which is still awesome, and he still enjoys it, believe it or not. So it's still at his house and he loves it. But Coastal Source to me is kind of the top echelon, best audio out there, and they have a couple different realms too. They go all the way to a line array ribbon tweeter, you know, system that's just crazy good. But what we have is really, really good here. So each of these were called bollards in their world. I don't know how close he wants to get me with that lens because the sun and I don't know, it's going to get all whitewashed. But this is a bollard. So this bollard speaker is angled, so it kind of, you know, aims up. It's real low, so it's going to cascade across the pool. It's got an 8-inch subwoofer in each one. They have a 7.5-inch driver and a tweeter at the top. So fully waterproof and everything. Under this bench, I don't know what the heck I'm talking about. I had wine today, apparently. Under this bush or grass thing, there's a 12-inch sub. So I'll put my foot on it if you can't really see it there. That is their 12-inch sub, or sub 14.0 that they call it. That is an animal. I mean, it is absolutely an animal. So on the other side of the pool, I don't know if he can even see that from over there, but I've got another bollard. So I've got 2 stereo bollards on each side. I've got the 14.0, and then over behind the hot tub, if he can kind of zoom in over there probably, so we don't have to walk around the whole pool and take you with us. Behind the hot tub, we've got another bollard, and that's only the 7.5 and the tweet. So that's just to hear at the hot tub. So I've got the 2 large bollards. If you take those out of the ground, they're like this tall. It's basically having tower speakers around your pool. But they're just incredibly detailed, incredibly loud. The first time I ever turned them on, my wife was in the study, which is literally on the other side of the house, through the house. And she said, is that our something that I won't say on YouTube house? And I had to say, yes, ma'am. And it was amazing. So the other thing is, the person I sold my yard system to is my neighbor across the street. And I was all excited, and I said, dude, come over and listen to my new audio system. And he literally texted me. He goes, oh, I heard it. So, I mean, look, if you want, oh, I heard it, then this is it for you. If you got the cash flow, noxious, I mean, it is just stupid good. It sounds like Snoop Dogg is just, you know, here having a blast. So that's something that's really cool. Obviously very high end, but we install systems of every manner, of every price level. Whatever's important to the client is what's important to us. We don't care about anything else, but you know, for the client that wants it, we have it. And hopefully that kind of helps you decide what to do. Go to your local, hopefully a very good AV company. They should be able to, help you design your audio system around the pool. Look, important things to remember, by the way. I want to go over this. I don't think I went over this in the very first time I ever did this because it was just my wife with the cell phone. You need to find a way, if either in the pre-wire stage or later, to get a conduit from someplace outside your house where there was power to get an amplifier out of a conduit. And you need to run it to places like that planter that's behind the hot tub that you saw. That planter is by itself. You have to get under the ground to get to it. People have fancy pools that'll have a planter right here. Super sexy and cool. Guess what? You're not getting a wire there ever later. We can retro wires all around here and hide them in landscape, dig them into the ground and all that kind of stuff, but not here. So, get your plan together so people, the planter behind him, which is garbage and they're all dead, there's literally a planter behind my grill. I would never be able to get a wire there, so these are places that you need to look at first so that you can go, oh crap, he's right, I got to get a conduit over there real quick under the ground. And that way, if I want more speakers in these planters to aim, I can do that now. So design, as always, is design pre-wire, always the most important thing. So if you need help, obviously theateradvice.com. Get a hold of me or one of my team members. We can also try to help. We ship anywhere in the country. Hopefully we can help you, but if not, hopefully some local guys good. That's audio around your pool and on your patio. Thanks for tuning in.